Hello, and welcome to the We Get to Do This podcast. My name is Kaylee,
And I'm Jacob.
and we are your co-hosts.
In this show, we're going to dive into all things our lives, from our partnership to romance to entrepreneurship to growing our businesses together, our fitness journeys, and we're going to have a ton of different guests on that relate to what I just said in some way. We're hoping you enjoy the show, and if you do,
Please feel free to follow us, leave us a 5-star review on wherever you listen to your podcasts, and enjoy.
and if you don't like the show, tough. Thank you.
Thanks. Welcome back, team. This is our second episode of 2026. It's already January 11th, which is wild.
Yeah.
We are a little later than we were hoping for with this
Not bad.
episode. Not to point fingers, but one of us in this room has really been going through it for the last month.
This guy right here.
But on the mend.
On the mend. You might be talking more than me today. No, I think I'll be good.
The flu has been going around like wildfire, at least in Minnesota, but I think kind of everywhere. And people have just been getting hit. And you got hit really hard.
And I got it twice. That's the worst part.
But I think on the bright side, to, wrap this into the pod, is that, it makes you think a lot about your goals and your life and kind of makes you reassess things, which is what we're talking about today.
Yeah. And I'm meeting with Matt this week. This is dropping today or tomorrow. It's like to the date. It'll be like very accurate. I'm meeting with Matt this week, and there is another episode coming out. That'll probably come out in a week or two as well. That we'll dive deep into like how I got sick, what I got sick with, the 2 different flu strands, like all that shit, and how
What's been going through your head.
Yeah, well, that will all come up this week. So we're not even going to touch that at all today. We're going to pretend we didn't even, but that's why this has been so delayed.
And yeah, this is still a good time to talk about. So episode 73, we went over our reflections for 2025. And I do struggle a little bit with this time of year of like how we like have put January 1 as like this big time to like reassess everything, because it's like the dead of winter and we're supposed to be like doing more resting. But at the same time, that's what society is deemed. And I do think it's still fun to like reflect and still like put forth like intentions and like what we're like looking forward to in the new year. Because in reality, like once spring, summer hits, things start going like so fast anyways that I don't know, like since it is a quiet time, I do think it's a good time to journal and to slow down and to start thinking about things, because we do have a little more time to be intentional. So that's my little caveat with New Year's stuff. But especially the reflection side I like. But anyways, today we get to do goals, visions, and intentions for 2026. And as we did with the last episode, this is a good time to grab your own journal or notepad or notes app in your phone and follow along with some of these questions. This one's a little shorter than the reflections one, but we're going to go through some of what we filled out for this, which is also the same questions and prompts as what we did last year. I believe that was around episode 24 or so. So we just got to do this again.
Yeah. And I agree. I think that goal setting just on Jan 1 is an interesting thing to do. And I think that it'd be worth me talking about the 12-week year again at some point and how much that's helped me. But I also think that like change, like a new year, can be really good for people. And I think it's fun for us and everyone else to just like sit and dream, about the year and think about like everything that's going to happen and what you want and what not to. So,
well, and from a numbers standpoint, December 31st is the last of the fiscal year. So that is when we're like looking at like, okay, how many appointments did you have for last year? How much do you bring in? Like, we're not doing that. I mean, yes, you should be doing that every quarter, every 6 months to look, but like to get the whole total, that is the year that we're looking at, like for the government even.
Right.
So,
and I'll post in the bio again the outline for what we're going through today too. My voice sound too bad? Is this okay?
You're good.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we hope you follow along with this or just like think in your head about what your answers to these questions would be. Because I do think it's cool to get started, like get a fresh start for the new year.
Do you want to walk them through what the ones are that we're going to do?
So we're going to start with physical goals. What does your ideal morning look like in your body? And how do you want to experience movement? And then we have words of 2026, themes of 2026. And then we're going to do our goals and intentions for both personal and business. But again, this can be just personal or it can be a career for you, whatever feels right for you. And then the last one is what will be 1 to 3 reasons / things that will cause friction towards hitting your goals. So I think it's important to be able to figure out like, okay, what can get in your way? Like if you have a goal of running a 100-miler at Leadville this summer, but you're also trying to get pregnant, that could be a potential difficulty in there. Things like that.
Love
That
how
we'll talk
that's
about.
where your mind went.
Okay, well,
That's where your mind went?
we've been talking.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about our potential future pregnancy in relation to my next 100-miler. I'm sorry, that wasn't very relatable, but
Okay, now people are going to be like, holy shit, did Keely just like announce she's going to try to get pregnant this year? And they're also going to be like, holy shit, did Keely just like announce she got into Leadville?
No, okay. Rewind. Now I'm all red and anxious and nervous.
Adorable.
We've been talking about the whole like the Minnesota like 12-week paid leave things for the future. This is not us right now. This year we are getting married, which we will talk about. At least I'm going to talk about in my 2026 goals.
And apparently we're having a kid too.
We're not pregnant. We are not trying. And you guys get to all hear that because you listen to the pod. So, yeah, not that I needed to share that.
Awesome.
But
that was awesome. I'm really happy that happened.
We're not trying. I'm not doing a 100-miler this year, which I'm also going to talk about. Or at least it's on the plan. Yeah, that took a turn. So that was the first thing that came to my mind. We've been talking about babies. And we're just...
Move on.
Okay. Forget what I just said. Physical goals. What does your ideal morning look like in your body?
Do you want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So my ideal morning, I actually want to. Actually, before I say this, are we like, should we be comparing kind of to last year at all, or
I wasn't going to.
just gonna say it? Okay. So if you're curious, this is kind of cool having it timestamped because last year it was way different than a lot of stuff I'm saying this year. But okay, so my ideal morning, I want to kind of get back into the habit of focusing on myself first. Which we're going to talk about what that looks like on the business side later. So on the mornings that I do work at 6 a.m., I will not do that. I'll go straight to work and work with clients and focus on them. On the mornings that I do not start at 6 a.m., which will hopefully be even fewer, I will get up and get back into my reading / vibing Jacob time self. I also want to make sure, and then likely do a workout, and then I would start like working. And then I also want to make sure I continue with lemon water, creatine, aminos as my first thing of the day. I'm toying with the idea of no caffeine until 90 minutes into my day as well, because I want to wake up with the day and not go right to caffeine. The problem with that is that I really, really, really enjoy reading and drinking coffee in the morning, and I miss it so deeply. And that's one of the things I really want to get back. So that caffeine one might might change potentially. But at least at work, I won't drink coffee till 90 minutes into my like shift, my goal. That's my ideal morning.
I think a good point that you made too is like these are supposed to shift. Like none of this is supposed to be concrete for
Yeah.
the year. And I think I said this last year too, but like if things turn out different or if something like stuff happens all the time that can change this and just to not be hard on yourself because we are humans and we're supposed to change and shift as things shift. Um my ideal morning, thinking of like a weekday, is I love waking up in the 6:30 a.m. region. I can wake up earlier, I do, but 6:30 is my ideal. Ideally next to you. After getting 8 plus hours of sleep and I'm feeling rested, my phone is out of the room, so I'm either waking up without any alarm or with my Hatch alarm. Um, I will not bring my phone in the room, which is going to continue being my goal. And I like to just lay there for a little bit and think of some gratitude and be in my own thoughts before starting my day and like looking at my phone. Then I get up to use the bathroom, brush my teeth. Then, while I'm drinking my lemon water with creatine and aminos, I'm rolling out my feet. And then I would love to like read and journal a little bit and just like chill for a sec. Then have a little breakfast snack. Then I love doing my movement like first thing in the morning. So going for a run or some type of movement, and then going to the sauna, showering, eating my real breakfast, and then going to work and being ready for work like 10 to 15 minutes before I actually need to be so that I'm not feeling rushed while I'm eating and packing lunch. It's pretty much what I already do, but
Yeah, but you're definitely like I like where you are and I want to get there. Because right now I feel like my schedule is just I'm just like moving constantly and there's not really any purpose to it, if that makes sense. There's purpose to it, but there's
like
no
with your
like
everyday.
consistency to it, the word I'm thinking of. Yeah. Just like wake up and go. Still. Which I think was necessary, but now that I have reached a certain point in my business, I'm maybe it wasn't even ever necessary. I don't know. But anyways, I want to be more
Yeah.
like you in that sense. So
uh Well, yeah, I mean, my schedule changes too, but like I don't start until right now, I'm not starting until 8. In the summer, I was starting at 7:30, but at a few days, but usually it's 8 or later, unless it's a class morning. So, but yeah, I love getting my movement in first thing in the morning. I don't like doing it later in the day. I'm trying to get better at that, but and then the next question, how do you want to experience movement? So, I said for this year that I want to do things that bring me joy and make me feel good and that challenge me. But I also want to take a step back from doing things that are 50 plus miles and maybe even, I don't even think I'm going to do a 50 miler this year. Um, and to be more flexible with workouts and do more things like stand up paddleboarding, biking, and just like fitting those things in. But it's hard because I do really like having a training plan and I like being active and I like working for something. And I am going to be training for Grandma's Marathon, which this is gonna be my first, like, real training block, which I am very excited for, and Jacob is maybe even more excited than probably more excited than I am.
especially since I get to
Um,
like train with you because I won't
yeah,
be training.
it's gonna be really fun,
Yeah.
and that's, mid-June.
And there'll be like a group too. Like Anna, Schwarm, Kyle.
Mhm.
So like a group of people trying to do that. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, and I mean, we're not doing any Superior stuff this year because we're gonna be at a wedding in Michigan over that weekend, and I've toyed with the idea of doing Marquette 50, but I don't know yet.
You have?
Yeah, I thought I told you that.
You did not tell me that.
Oh,
When is that?
August.
I could be convinced to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I take back what I said about not doing 50 or more.
Like with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll try to keep up with you.
I think we need to sign up soon. I know that one fills up. So we need to check on that. So anyways, but still being flexible with that, and I want to do single day events right now. Things that are like under 12 hours for the year so that I can like be more consistent with training because as I've mentioned, like with Javelina this year, I had to take a few months off afterwards to like recover and rejuvenate myself. And it'd be nice to just take off a normal amount of time of like 1 to 2 weeks and be ready to slowly start again and not feel like a train ran me over. How do you want to
Maybe we should
experience
talk about that.
what?
We'll talk about that in an episode, I feel like. Uh, how do I want to experience movement? So I put experience new things.
Mhm.
Next, top three.
Okay, your triathlon.
um, yeah, I think that I'm going through a lot with this whole getting faster thing and pushing myself in the running world. Um, so I'll just leave it at that for now. I want to still run 2000-ish miles. I hit like just over 2300 this year. Um, I'm open to doing that much again
How
as
many on
well.
average is that a week? Do you know?
2300. Right.
40?
How many weeks are there in a year?
52?
44.
44 miles a week on average all year. That's
What's
insane.
crazy though is it felt way more than that. That's the thing though. Like
Well, because it,
you don't remember the like 5 weeks total. You had 10, right? That plummets the average.
yeah.
Things like that.
That's why that's still impressive with you, like getting
No,
sick
that's what
and
I'm
stuff.
saying though. It's like my whole point is like it
Still
was a
worth it.
lot. I'm like,
Yeah.
and like I at the same time I really liked how fit I felt and have felt. I don't know. But I want to run 2000-ish miles again. I'm not really sure on a specific number, nor do I really care. I just more so want to maintain like what I have and stay in shape. Beyond that though, I have a lot of goals in the gym again with calisthenics specifically. I want to see if I can do a muscle up. So I never thought I would be able to do something like that, but I also never thought that I'd be going for like a 3 hour marathon. So the more I've worked with Zach and gotten better at calisthenics, the more I've come to the realization that a lot of it's going to come down to my form, which I've always been lucky enough to be good at, form stuff. And, um, then obviously strength too. So, and then run, swim, and bike. So I'm doing my first triathlon in July. So, and then Javelina 100K. It's the A race on the year. I might do this 50 with Kaylee, but it's realistically not going to happen. Actually, no, I'm thinking about it because it's in August and the triathlon's the end of July.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's how I want to experience movement. And I want to experience a lot of it with friends and community.
And me.
Yeah, of course. Top
Um,
3 achievements, personal and business.
do you want me?
You can go.
Um, I might say more than three. But as I said in my reflections last episode, I felt like I was a lot better at being less sarcastic and with less snide remarks. And I really want to make that a goal for this year. And yeah, be less sarcastic, say less snide remarks, and remember I think it's the three agreements. Is it kind? Is it necessary? And is it truthful? Because I think there's just like a lot of things that we say that are just not necessary. Um,
Mhm.
so that's something that I want to focus on. I feel like I've been getting better, but I want to continue that and not do like the side comments because I know those are hurtful and they add up and they're just not necessary or kind. Um, my other goal is to get married to you and really focus on love and respect and growing and starting our life together this year. It's gonna be a big thing. And I think we don't always take the time to be like, wow, this is like huge. This is like one of the biggest moments in your life, even though we've been together and we love each other, but it's still like a big thing in planning this wedding. So, um, marathon PR at grandma's. And my last thing I was going to say is remembering that I am enough, I am doing enough, and that my worth is not dependent on what I am doing, and not always being so terrified of letting other people down and pleasing other people. Because at the end of the day, I need to please myself the most. Thanks. What are yours?
I realized that I skipped over themes/words, so let me
You
just
can
go
go
back to that. Okay, so my personal ones, I put to marry Kaylee, and then I put dive into financial goals with Kaylee more, like jointly, and actually, like we're meeting with my financial planner and we're doing a bunch of stuff together, house stuff, things like that. And I also want to maintain a monthly check-in with Kaylee again, because we did that when we first started dating and then haven't really since, and I really want to do that again. Well, not when we first started dating, but we did it a while back. And then I also said I want to keep travel and fam friend goals up from last year, which was essentially just spending more time doing those things, which I did a really good job this year of. And then sleep, which I should have maybe said in my ideal morning, but I also put I want to continue to improve/implement the improved sleep plan I did last year. It's like I've been doing better, I think, but I could still like I think benefit from just being a little more consistent sometimes with like reading before bed, getting into bed early, turn the TV off, and getting up at 5:15 and not earlier. Even if I wake up at 5, like later till 5:15, and that's okay. So, yeah, I think that this year, actually, I'm gonna wait to say that until we get to the themes. So that's my personal, and then
I like the financial one because I'd also like to say that if you are just like getting to know somebody, like I think talking about your finances like sooner rather than later is so important. So it's one of the main reasons why people break up or get divorced is because of finances. And I feel like we were pretty transparent from like very early on, like what
yeah, I mean,
our
we did do those meetings like probably 3 months into our
yeah, we
relationship.
did it
I guess it was pretty early on.
pretty early.
No, maybe it wasn't that early.
Maybe not
We were talking about it. You asked me like on our second date, I think, if you wanted to
what.
share money, something like that on our second date.
Can I get on your checking account, please?
I'm pretty sure. So, no, we did talk about that early on.
Yeah, and just like finding out what each other's like spending habits are. Do you have debt? Do you like I feel like we even talked about, about paying for your kids' college. Like, do you want to do that? Like, and because I think there's no necessarily right or wrong. Like, it's up to each individual, but I think you do need to decide as a couple and whether, again, not that you need to like talk about this right away, but even like, do you want to share finances when you do get married? Do you want to share the expense of having a kid, or like, how do you want
Yeah,
to do
all
that?
that stuff.
Because I think that,
We talked a lot about like going out to eat, because I used to go out to eat a lot, and how like I planned that with my financial planner, and we were like, oh, okay, and like understood like it doesn't really matter, but just talking
yeah,
about it.
yeah, because the things can change. Because yeah, you did used to go out a lot and like go out for coffee
Yeah,
and
and it
stuff a
made sense
lot,
at the time. It was
and
fun,
I
and
like
I don't
never
as
went
much
out.
now.
But now I feel like we've kind of met more in the middle, and I'm more cool with going out, and you don't go out as much.
Yeah. Well, I
So
stopped doing it more so because I liked how I felt
yeah.
better. Not. Anyways,
Anyways,
business goals.
business professional goals.
Okay, so I want to solidify a new schedule and cut down on my in-person gym hours. I would like to get to around 20-ish. and about 30 right now of time in the gym. I would like to actually do more certs this year. I did like 2. Okay, I guess I did 2 last year. Yeah, is that what I wrote down? I think that's what I did. I can think of 2 for sure. I would like to do 3, and I would also like to decide. I'm thinking about doing a 3-year-long program through the Czech Institute. And I would like to also decide on that because I don't really want to do that if we have a child, since we're talking about babies on the pod
which
now.
we're not trying.
Well, the program's 3 years long though, so
So
okay.
you're saying
Grow, and then the last thing I want to do is I want to grow my online coaching to roughly 100% more than it is right now and maintain the same amount of net income I was getting last year average per month with everything combined while I do that. So I'm aware that pruning some of my in-person stuff is going to potentially take a slight hit on my revenue that I am at, and that's okay. And in addition to that, I would like to replace that with some of the more online and like class stuff and stuff that I don't need to be like right there for an entire hour. So,
and that will allow you to like help more people
and it will allow me to help more people.
and be more present.
And it's, yeah, yeah. Be more present.
Um, Professional goals for me, I would love to consistently see 18 to 20 patients a week. So that's my one-on-one. I always thought I wanted more than that, but now when I do get to that per week, I'm like, that's actually pretty good. And I've been listening to a lot of stuff about like people go into private practice and have their own businesses so that you don't need to have an insurance practice and see 100 people a week just to break even. That's not how I like to practice. I see people for an hour at a time. I want to give you my all for that hour. I want to be able to do research in between your treatment so that I can give you the absolute best treatment. And sometimes that means upping prices. So that's why I'd love to stay at that mark so that I'm not getting burned out because I have been burned out in a career before and I don't want that to happen again. So I would love to get to just like consistently 18 to 20.
Well, and
Um,
I'm like, and that's a good example because I'm like in that right now where I don't have fucking time to do anything
yeah,
because of the in-person stuff.
yeah.
And I mean, like very truthfully, it makes me a worse practitioner, 1000%. And I'm not afraid to admit that. And
Let's,
if a client is listening and has a problem with that, like, then I hope that you understand why I have to like make some changes and do things. Cause like,
yeah. And while you're
well, I'm
actively
actively
working on
trying to
it.
change that because it's so hard.
But I mean, I was listening to, it was a mental health therapist video the other day, but she was talking about, people who have their own private practices. And she's like, if you're seeing more than 20 people a week, like you're not doing your best work.
Yeah, I believe that.
And I don't see, I mean, I'm not a mental health therapist. I know that's hard, but like the one-on-one stuff is just very taxing.
Hmm.
And people are paying good money to come see us for that hour. And both you and I, as like people who want to be at our best, it's just hard to do it with more than that.
Yeah. And I mean, we get taught that 40 hours a week is like full time. So I think that's pretty hard going into this type of work, like therapists, personal trainers, anyone else in the health industry, but like
Mm.
dollars for hours kind of. But also it's not even dollars for hours. It's like you are spending an hour where you have to be completely present with one person, which is a blessing. It's a fun job. Don't get me wrong. Um, However, it is very different than like me spending 40 hours at previous jobs or more. Like there were previous jobs where I was working like 60-hour weeks, but a lot of those hours, like I could have headphones in and just be walking around, like laying things down and doing different stuff. It was way different.
Mhm.
So I think that's important to like remind myself and you as well to remember that like we are just doing something different right now than what we're used to too, or like what we have in the past.
Yeah.
And like, even like um trying to think about like, when I was in an office, like all the time I would spend like being like, oh, well, I'm just going to take 10 minutes and go walk around. Like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
There is no like, I'm going to take 10 minutes during your session and just go walk around, you know? So,
Well, and also, we're only counting the one-on-one hours, so say
right,
20 hours a week. We're doing so much more than that outside
right.
of
Because
those
then you
20
also get done with
hours.
your shift and you have 20 texts from clients or
Email.
emails and they want you to answer right away. So then it's like you have all of these, right?
Yeah, and that's,
But
like, what we did, like, we chose to do that by having our own businesses,
yeah,
and I love doing all that stuff, but that means that I can't do 40 hours of in-person and then another 20 plus hours of all the other stuff.
yeah, it doesn't mean we don't love it. It just means that we have to figure out how to make it sustainable so we don't burn out.
Yeah,
Because you can love something and burn out. How many times have you been running, like in a running program, and burned out from running,
yeah,
or lifting?
yeah,
It's learning. It's figuring out how to like not do those things. Not, 'cause it's also addictive. So
yeah, and doing our best work so that people get the best of us.
yeah,
Um, my other goal is to finally become a run coach. I'm actively working on
good.
that.
I need help.
Um, yeah, I'm still working on the cert, and I know that I could start run coaching right now if I wanted to, but I don't know, I have it in my mind. I'm gonna finish this cert first, and then I'm going to open up my roster, and I think that comes along with too, like, I want people to have, like, the best version of Kaylee. I want to have as much
Yeah,
information as I can, and I don't wanna just, like, jump into it, and I know it's taking me a while. I need to start making my own deadlines for myself, but yeah, anyways, becoming a run coach, I think I'm almost a quarter of the way through my program, but I'm gonna start working on this because of my new schedule. And then I want to hit 100 episodes for the pod and keep growing this because we have some exciting things coming with the podcast too.
I need to write that down.
What are yours?
I need to write that down.
Wait, did you do?
I did my
You
business
did
ones.
yours.
Yeah,
Okay. Um, now the
I
next
wrote the
question.
pod on. This is the cognitive fatigue, though, for real.
It's
I'm a
okay.
little annoyed by that
It's
because I wrote the pod down on my reflection, and I
yeah.
know I had goals for it too,
It's okay. Well, we've talked
but
about doing a separate
oh
thing
well.
for the pod anyways. I just wanted to include that. Um, And what will be 1 to 3 reasons
Wait,
slash
themes
well, I was gonna do
or no?
this
Last three.
first. What will be 1 to 3 reasons slash things that will cause friction towards hitting your goals? So things that you just wrote down or thought about, like what are some things that could hold you back from that? Not like the example I gave earlier.
I think the number one thing that's going to hold me back from hitting my goals this year is myself.
Deep.
I just think it's interesting because like last year I put the blame on other people, and I said how other people will respond to like me and me like letting other people down and things like that. And it's at the end of the day, like the biggest, what does Alex Hormozy say? The biggest risk to like your business or life or whatever, like it's always you, like not wanting to do the thing anymore. And like the only person that really can be to blame for that when you are the owner and in control of your business is you, really. Um, and so like working less is really hard for me. It just is. I like being busy because of a lot of different reasons that aren't super important right now. Potentially losing money. Like if I was making $1 million a month and I dropped to, you know, 900,000 right now with what I make, looking at that, I'd be like, oh, I don't care. I guarantee though, at that position, I would be like disappointed in myself. Right. And so I think about like where I'm at right now versus where I was at last year and how like much I have surpassed the goal and hit the goal I wanted. And then have to realize like, okay, you can't just get mad losing a little bit of money, a little, quote unquote, to potentially gain more later. And just like remember that, like that trade off, I guess. Um, It's like those two things, and then just pruning in general, like letting people down. It's like at the end of the day, I'm not that important. And I need to stop telling myself that I am going to like ruin someone else's life by not being available for them every second of every single day. Like that's not my bag. And it's almost like narcissistic of me to think that way.
Yes. And I think it's choosing quality over quantity.
Mhm.
And I think both of us are more quality over quantity people.
Yeah.
So this goes back to wanting to be the best version of yourself for the people that you are seeing instead of trying to see 100 people a week, like seeing those say 20 and them getting the best.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it comes down to me creating work too. Like Christine told me that.
Yeah.
And I know I do it still. It's so hard not to. But when I get sick, I realize how much I create work because I'm always getting all these texts. And then when I get sick, I don't get all these texts. And it's not because these people know I'm sick, because that's probably what you're thinking right now. Some of them, yes. But like when I get sick, can't, like if I miss 3 days of work, that's like 20% of the people I interact with a month. The other 80% doesn't know I got sick. The reason I get less texts is because I'm not texting people and I'm not like saying, how are you? How's your leg? Like looking for work that I don't need to be looking for. Right. So like, that's the other thing too. That's just all ego. It's like me trying to like fuel my ego.
Hmm. For me, always feeling like I'm behind slash not enough or not doing enough and putting others' needs and wants in front of mine. So kind of similar to yours, like wanting to fit everybody in and wanting to like be available for all the night shifts and all the early mornings. And it's just in reality, that's not realistic. And I don't want to resent my job. So
Yeah.
that's that's that.
I feel like a lot of what you're saying is just like at Jacob.
No, that was mine. Cause
It's like a lot of it's the stuff that we've been talking about with me, and like
yeah, but it
you
applies
just do
to
things so well, and I just want to
I
be like
don't
you.
think that's the truth. We just have different systems right now. And yeah, moving on. Words of 2026. What are some of your words for this year?
I put present,
That's my first one.
refreshed, resparked, slowed.
I put presence, love, joy, enjoyment, less, kindness, and health.
Health's a good one. I'm gonna put that down too.
Themes of 2026. I said tuning into what Kaylee wants and being unapologetically myself and showing my emotions and truth and love and connection and not being afraid of like being authentically me. I think that should go for all of us because the world needs more of each of
Kaylee.
us. The world needs everyone be like me because we need more of me. No, be more of yourself. I mean, if you're a more serious person, be serious. If you want to spread laughter in the world and jokes, do more of that. Like, I don't care what it is, but like the world needs more of you. And I just really feel like there's so much room for all of us. And like, you just have to be who you are because that shows like what you are passionate about, what you want to do with your life every day, who you want to spend time with. There is room for you to do that. You need to know what that is. I think at the end of the day. And I think there's careers like I don't want to be an accountant doing numbers, for example, but like some people love that and are so good at it and so passionate. So do that. Not everyone wants to be doing what I'm doing. Like my sister, for example, like would never do this. This is not like a cut on her, but
Sorry, Nay.
sorry, Nay. I love you. Um,
She doesn't
yeah,
listen anyways.
yeah. um, but yeah, do what you want and then you have to find the joy in those things because if we've learned anything, I mean, in the last 5 years, in the past couple of weeks, like, life is short and we're only here for such a short time. So do what you love and what brings you joy. What are your themes?
Well, I didn't write any down because I just put the words. But I think my closing statement on this is that when I am 80, I am going to look back on 2026 and I am going to say, damn it, I really wish I enjoyed that year more. I think that this is the first year, and this is like summing back to like me being proud of myself too, back in like November. I'm a very different human being right now than I've like ever been. And this is like the first year in as long as I can remember where I'm going into it not like truly since I was a child, probably, where like the goal is not to change my body, not to change like one of my core values or something I do and act or whatever. And it's not like my main goal is not business related. I'm not really focused on either of those for this entire year. They are still there and goals, obviously, but um, they're just not my main concerns. And I am really like focused on you starting a family, I guess. um, but no, actually, like that's that's where I'm at, and that's all I have to say because flu cognitive fatigue is real, and I don't even remember what else I was going to say after that. So,
I'm proud of you.
yeah,
It's a very cool spot to be in.
I hope I can think tomorrow with clients.
Same. Can we do a we get to do this moment really quick? It's been a little bit.
Yeah,
I'll go first since you need to think. My we get to do this moment is, as I've already said, I'm going to Patagonia this week, and I just feel really grateful that we have created a life where I can leave for a couple of weeks and go travel with my sister, and yeah, just extreme gratitude to be able to do that. I'm very nervous, but I'm also very excited.
we're going to miss you a lot.
I miss you.
The pod's going to be a little goofy because it's going to be all, um, I don't even know what I was going
We
to
have
say.
a lot of good things coming. We have some really cool guests that we're dropping in the next couple of weeks that I'm excited to listen to. So,
Yeah, they're cool.
okay, we get to do this moment, Jacob. We promise we take this pod seriously.
I'm trying. I'm serious. When Aiden said that, I was like, I'm so happy I'm not the only one that got dumb when they got sick. Like, for real. We get to do this moment. Honestly, y'all, I'm down bad right now. And I think that it's really important to like remember you can be pissed as well and sad. I'm not very grateful and I'm really struggling at this moment in time. So, my we get to do this moment, honestly, is that I'm still breathing right now.
You get to
And
breathe.
and honestly, like the other big thing too is the Kaylee. I probably would have died this week without Kaylee,
That's
honestly. I
not
like her
true.
herbs, her acupuncture, all of her wisdom, her nurturing skills. I'm not kidding when I said I thought I was gonna die this week, y'all. I was so fucked up. So yeah, that's all I got for today. 2026 goals. Happy 2026. I'll be fine, but I'm human too, and I get mad. Especially when I get sick twice in the same like 3 weeks.
It's okay to be mad. Get mad. Thank you all for being here. Happy 2026. Thanks for following along with our goals. And Jacob and I will be back together again in a couple of weeks, but we have some great guests coming up for you. So make sure you tune in. Goodbye.
Wow, Kaylee, we made it through another episode. What do you think?
We would love if you would go give us a follow, a 5-star review, and comment on the episode and what you liked and what you'd like to see more of.
See you next time.
We get to do this.